Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome back to Dan's Pro Shop, where everything's made up and the instructions don't matter. That's right, just like your Social Security check in 10 years. It doesn't mean a thing. Today, we're going to play a little game called Scenes from a Welding Hat. Yeah, I know, it's my favorite too. Let's see, Dan and Colin. Yeah, three-phase power. You're at a bar, you're talking about it. Let's see how that conversation goes, shall we? All right, so we're back here at the healing bench, and I took the liberty of making some drawings here for you guys to better explain three-phase power and more of the flow of it. But hey, don't be too judgy on my pictures. My third grade teacher loved these things. So, take this if you will. This is a really rough diagram / drawing of a three-phase generator, or like the power plant, how they would make the power and send it out to you. Think of a generator as a motor, but in reverse. Now think about what I just said there. A motor uses electricity to spin and do work. A generator is exactly the opposite of that. Something does the work to spin the motor, and it generates electricity. Here in North America, we use coal fire, gas fire, some far and few between nuclear plants. They heat up water that turns into steam, and that steam spins a turbine that spins the rotor inside of this. That is how power is generated here. I know that's a really dumbed down explanation, but take a gander here. This is a big, giant, permanent magnet, okay? We call this a rotor inside of a motor. The outside part is called a field frame. You'll see these 3 sets of coils here. So there's 6 coils in here. All right, but there's sets, one on the north pole, one on the south pole. As this guy is spinning, this magnet spins past the presence of a coil and induces a voltage into it. I talked about this briefly when we were doing transformers. If you guys want to look back, by all means. So look over here. My voltage A, my voltage B, my voltage C. That comes from the positive swing of the magnet going past the coil. The opposite side of this magnet produces the neutral line. So when you're driving down the highway and see all these big giant telephone poles with 4 lines on top, I bet you can guess where I'm going with this. Line A, line B, line C, voltage and neutral back to the power plant, because it's like a circle. It doesn't have no corners. It's got to go and come back. Electricity is a loop. Now, if you were to hook up a scope to this, that can be a whole different video if you guys want to learn about scopes. These are those lines, A, B, and C. Okay, this is why three-phase power is so good. To people that don't know, this is a line graph or a sine wave. So if you were to hook up a scope, this is what three-phase power would look like. These are your peaks and these are your valleys, the positive and the negative of that magnet spinning inside of the field frame. So when we use three-phase power, it utilizes all 3 of these phases when it's spinning a motor. So we're not waiting for, like, let's say the motor turns on and spins, coast. Turns on and spins, coast. Turns on and spins. Yeah, see, that's how single phase stuff works, and it's okay for smaller applications like a fan in your living room or whatever. But for big stuff where you need more power, we need that thing on all of the time. So it's on. I know this looks like a heck of a valley in here, but this is for illustration purposes only. In real life, this little dip is so negligible, the motor doesn't even know it's there. It just sees power all of the time. And for those not in the know, this is where your hertz comes from. Whenever someone talks about frequency or hertz, it's this. It's how many times per second you get that positive swing of the wave. And here in North America, that red, white, and blue, we choose 60. You guys want to guess? You want to guess where that 60 comes from? Hey, take a look at how many coils are inside of this three-phase generator. Is this starting to come together just a little bit? So, once that power comes out of the power plant, it goes into a step-up transformer. It will take the, I say loosely, low voltage coming out of the power plant and crank it through the roof. We're talking 60, 70, 120,000 volts. Say this is so we can transmit it really far. My man Tesla, yeah, he figured that out. Edison kind of fell on his butt about it, but thank God somebody was around to figure this out. So, Once it's stepped up and sent over those lines that we see on the side of the highway, and it comes to your house, there's that transformer on the pole that you can see at the end of your driveway. This is what the inside of that thing looks like. Of course, yeah, don't make fun of my drawings, but you have a primary side and a secondary side of a transformer. The primary is where you see the big lines coming in the top, right? It takes a high voltage. In this case, let's just say 30,000 kV, or 30,000 kilovolts. So, I don't know, we'll just say that that's a residential electricity coming through your neighborhood. So there's coils on the primary side. In this illustration, let's just say there's 6 on this side, there's 3 on this side. So this is a step down transformer. The secondary side has less coils than the primary. So the ratio, that's how these things are rated, is a 2 to 1. So we step down the voltage from 30,000 to our usable 240 volts over here. This is the side that goes to your house. But the cool thing about this, a lot of people don't know, the 240 volts that goes to your house, it's no different than the 120 volts that goes into the regular outlet in your wall. It's just where you tap onto the secondary side coil. See this illustration here, the 3 lines that go to your house from the pole is the one line is the top of the transformer. Your neutral bar that ultimately hooks up to the ground and bonds inside of your house is the center tap. That is your potential area. So you have to have a 0 somewhere for this thing to reference to give you power. And this is your other bus bar. So you have the 2 bus bars coming out of your main breaker. One bar is this 120 volts. The other bar is this 120 volts. And whenever you have a breaker that goes across both of those bus bars for like your dryer, your air conditioner, big stuff like that, it utilizes the entire secondary coil. See that? It's not magic. You don't just get an extra 120 volts. You just utilize the entire secondary side of this transformer. Actually, it's amazingly brilliant how this works. And the cool thing is, this is all induction. Nothing actually touches inside of a transformer. It's just the electrons on this side shake so violently that they cause this side to shake. And we're inducing voltage just simply by being in the presence of it. I know this one was a little long-winded, fellas, but hey, I'm super passionate about 3-phase power, heck, electricity in general, because it's awesome. It's pretty much like magic, but we know how to do it. So if you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, I can dive a little deeper, but let me know how you like it.